Well, the lottery ceremony just wrapped up and oh boy, it was insane. All the conspiracy theorists and the NBA is rigged crowd are popping champagne this morning with their "I told you so" takes. The number 1 pick is heading to Dallas. Mavericks, sitting at just 3% odds, somehow leapfrog from 11th to 1st overall. It's Zion to New Orleans all over again. Superstar bolts for the Lakers, and his former team gets handed a shiny new lottery prize as consolation. But here's where it gets really interesting for us. San Antonio's own pick jumped into the top 4, landing at number 2. This wasn't just some minor bump. The Spurs had the highest odds at picks 8 and 9. Instead, they're suddenly holding the most valuable draft asset they've had since they won Wembanyama 2 years ago. So, what does this mean for Spurs, and why do I think Operation Capture the Flag is still in play? Just look at Cooper's reaction when they announced Dallas got the number 1 pick.
Miles, 4-time All-Star, celebrate.
Now compare that to Victor Wembanyama's reaction 2 years ago. It's obvious Cooper wanted to land with a Texas team, just not this Texas team. In one of a previous video, I broke down how Flagg could leverage a return to college if a small market team won the lottery, forcing a trade. Sure, Dallas isn't some poverty franchise, but the fact remains, Cooper looked pissed when Dallas won the lottery. He definitely wanted to go to the Spurs and play with Wemby. I'm sure we still have a chance to see Cooper in Spurs jersey. San Antonio can offer an insane package to Mavericks, this year's 2nd and 14th picks, plus future draft capital, and don't forget, San Antonio owns Dallas's 2030 pick swap. Ball is in Cooper's court now. If he makes his displeasure clear to the Mavs and outright refuses to suit up for them, this still could happen. June 15th, the NBA's early entry withdrawal deadline. Until then, Flagg holds all the cards. But let's say Flagg stays in Dallas. The Spurs are still in a perfect position at number 2. Dylan Harper is the consensus 2nd pick, a big physical guard from Rutgers with star potential. Some scouts even believe he has a higher ceiling than Flagg. But here's the problem. The Spurs already have De'Aaron Fox and Stefan Castle in the backcourt. Does adding another guard make sense? If not, trading down to 3 or 4, where teams might covet Harper, could net additional assets while still landing an elite young wing like Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe, both of whom fit San Antonio's roster needs perfectly. Now let's address the elephant in the room, Giannis trade. With the number 2 pick in hand, the Spurs suddenly have the ultimate trade setup if Milwaukee decides to rebuild. Imagine this offer. This year, 2nd pick, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, or Jeremy Sohan plus future first rounders. That's more than enough at least to get Milwaukee's attention. A Giannis-Wemby frontcourt would be the most terrifying defensive duo since Duncan Robinson, and it would instantly make San Antonio a title contender. But here's the catch. The Spurs have always valued long-term flexibility. Would they really gut their young core for a 30-year-old superstar? My gut says no, unless Giannis explicitly demands San Antonio. If Giannis is too expensive, Kevin Durant becomes the perfect compromise option. Phoenix is trapped in cap hell, and Durant, while still elite, isn't getting any younger. The price would be much lower, maybe Vassell, Johnson, and 1 or 2 picks, and he'd be an ideal mentor for Wemby. What makes this lottery result so fascinating is that it represents a philosophical crossroads for the Spurs organization. For 2 decades, they've been the model of patience and internal development. But with Wemby's prime approaching and this unexpected lottery luck, the temptation to accelerate the timeline has never been stronger. Here's what we know. The Spurs have all their future picks plus extras. They have one of the league's most promising young cores. They now hold the number 2 pick in a draft with multiple potential stars. They have the cap flexibility to make major moves. This is the kind of position almost all other franchises would kill to be in. And it's why the next 2 months might be the most consequential in recent Spurs history. No matter which route they choose, one thing is certain. The Spurs' future hasn't looked this bright since Tim Duncan was young. We might look back at this as just the beginning of an earth-shaking time in San Antonio. The Spurs are no longer rebuilding, they're reloading. And with Wembanyama as the centerpiece, the sky's the limit. Buckle up, folks. This summer is going to be wild.